I think every captain should do the job his own way. I think Michael went on record yesterday as saying he captained the side in his way. Now I'll be doing it my way. What I will stress is we'll always respect the opposition we play. But I'm someone who thinks it's very important that we get our own game in order. And as I said earlier, if we play to our full capabilities, then we're capable of beating most sides in international cricket.
Hansie, you won the toss.
Yeah.
You decided to bowl.
Yeah.
What influenced that decision?
Well, I think the overhead conditions today and also the fact that the wicket's been covered for 2 days, I think there might be some early life in it. Give Pollock and Donald a go early on, see how they go.
England, Atherton, Butcher, Nasser Hussain and Stewart, captain and wicket-keeper. Then Thorpe, Ramprakash, Elam, Cork, Croft, Gough and Fraser. I'm delighted to see Gough back. It was a cruel blow that he wasn't able to be on that West Indies tour. And Dominic Cork back in the side also. That's a good, tough England side. They're up against a very good combination with South Africa, Liebenberg and Kirsten to go in first. Then Jacques Callis, Cullen and Cronje the skipper. Rhodes, Pollock, Klusner, Boucher the wicket-keeper. Paul Adams comes into the side, compared with the limited overs matches, the Texaco games when Pat Simcox was the spinner. And the #1 fast bowler in the world, Alan Donald, makes up the South African 11. We pick it up now with the first ball of the match. Alan Donald is the bowler. Taking strike is Mike Butcher.
And off the mark. Mike Butcher was pushing that away on the offside. Jonty Rhodes. A very familiar figure of Jonty Rhodes doing the fielding.
Those sort of situations, the general thing is to try not to lose wickets in the first sort of hour or so, which is always the most tricky time. And then to work out how you're going to go from there. And as things happened, the wicket continued to do a little bit, and it continued to swing for most of the day. So, in the end, it was just trying to churn out as many runs as we could for as few wickets.
Oh, there's no apparent effort in the shot. That's a very good sign for Mark Butcher. Great shot. Well, that's the sign of a man in form, a man batting with confidence. Alan Donald knows he over-pitched, but it was beautifully put away.
Beautifully played. Wonderfully timed. Almost the perfect Yorker, but at that pace it was picked up with some real hard bottom hand thrust in there. 4 runs. Cracking shot. Beautiful stroke. It was a loose ball. It gave the batsman width to swing the bat, but that was swung along a beautiful arc, and it's square on the offside. 4 more runs to Atherton.
That's well played, very solidly hit. That's what I'd call Michael Atherton at pretty much his best.
You know, Sean and Alan are both Warwickshire old boys, and maybe they wanted to try too hard. There's nothing worse when you want to run in. The footing was a bit wet still, the bowlers were slipping all over the place. So the ball was a bit uncontrollable in the bowler's defence, but I think maybe the guys tried too hard. We thought we stuck him in on a wicket that looked like we could bowl them out.
That'll do. That's beautifully played. 4 runs right off the face of the bat, just ease through the offside. That's enough for 50. That's nicely placed. And reaching the boundary. So Mark Butcher on to 53. That's a great shot. That is ideally the way to play that shot, right on his back foot, stepping up onto his toes, right on top of the ball.
Outstanding shot. Played one earlier off Alan Donald.
Well, I think Atherton and Butcher batted superbly on a wicket that wasn't easy to bat on. Obviously, you know, we had a lot of extras. I think it must have been about 40 or 50 extras.
Great shot. Oh, he didn't miss out on that one. That's better. That's well struck. Everything worked markedly better for that shot from Mark Butcher. That's in the air, straight down the throat and out. Jack Callis, the man down at deep square leg. And the bowling change has worked. South Africa's luck has finally arrived. Mark Butcher will be livid with himself.
Well, that's a cracking shot. Long half volley. And that doesn't matter whether it swings in the air or not. It certainly swung off the bat. Beautifully played. It's quite a brave effort, that, to bowl a bouncer at that pace to a man who's already got 70, but that's what he did and that's what he got.
Too much width there. And Alex Stewart gave that plenty of hammer.
Well, that's accelerated the scoring. It's the 50 partnership between Michael Atherton and his new boss, Alex Stewart. And it was a lovely shot. He really is moving well today, Michael Atherton.
It was a real great comeback for him. He had a lot of detractors. And I said that he shouldn't even have been in the side in the first place, and to come back and score 100 against an attack as good as theirs on a wicket like that was a fantastic achievement.
Well, very close to another wicket, but that's the 100. Michael Atherton announces his return to Test cricket. The first Test match since resigning the captaincy, and he celebrates with his 12th Test match 100.
And that was a great day for us, really, on wicket like that, with those two bowlers, Donald and Pollock, to be 250 for one. Gave us a lot of confidence for the summer.
And he's gone this time. That one has flown. I think we're going to see quite a bit of that today from this pitch.
Bowl well. They bowled better on the second day, which they're allowed to do, being world-class bowlers. We just decided to make sure we batted all the way down, because in previous Test matches we've got ourselves in good positions, you know, places like Trinidad, Antigua, and we've had major collapses, you know, so we believe in ourselves and we have faith in ourselves, but we've got to be realistic. And with Donald, Pollock, people like that around, you don't want to be, swinging from the hip and giving wickets away and then having a collapse and bringing them back in the game.
Almost as though he's waiting for it. Super shot. Straight out of the textbook, that one.
Short ball, and that's really hammered away. And that's the problem with Jacques Callis. It does bully the loose one. It was crashed away by Nasir Hussain, and that's really the hallmark of a Test match batsman.
And that is all over. Klusener has got that one to go away, and it moved in the air just late enough to draw Stewart into the stroke. Second wicket down, 309 on the board. Stewart one short of his half-century. Oh, dear me. That is the original mully-grubber.
Well, Nasir Hussain shaking his head there. Shades of the tour to the West Indies. He got some horrible deliveries to deal with, and that's another one.
Oh, that's got him. Well, that's right through the defences. It was a very fine in-swinging Yorker. And whatever the talents of Graham Thorpe, they weren't up to that particular delivery. That was a great delivery, right in the right place. And the stumps have gone everywhere.
And they never really got after the runs. We thought, well, if they're going to, go on for it and then declare, then maybe that's fine. I mean, they're going to lose wickets, but set us a total. But the way they batted quite negatively, we just thought, well, we're not too sure what their plan is.
Got him. Third wicket for Paul Adams. He has been given the responsibility by Hansi Cronje, and he has responded to it. Elam has gone, bowled by Adams, yorked.
The wicket was still much the same as it had been on the first day. You know, and there was, you know, second day of a test match, there's still a hell of a lot of cricket to be played. I think it was basically just to score as many as we possibly could. It didn't really matter how long, because we'd still have sort of 3 days if we could to bowl them out twice. So I think the idea was to get a big enough first innings total that we wouldn't have to bat again.
For it. That was just a little bit overpitched by Jacques Kallis. Just wait for the opportunity, take it when it presents itself.
And new ball's been taken immediately. So back we go to Alan Donald, no doubt. Sean Pollock the other end. And this will be a very serious moment to break through if South Africa can achieve it. It may also be why Mark Ramprakash has hung around out there just to see the new ball through. And bowled him. First ball with the new ball, Alan Donald says goodbye to Mark Ramprakash.
Over the top, down to Sean Pollock, and actually that's a very good catch. That's got him. Finger goes up slowly, but the verdict's the same. Alan Donald knew it all the way. It was a thinnish edge through to Mark Boucher.
Concentrate on getting as big a score as we could, and then getting at them. Obviously the weather came into play, or the bad light came into play towards the end of the day, and we stayed out there, and Goffey got hit. The light wouldn't have had a great deal to do with it. I mean, it was just the same ball would have hit him in the same place, whether the sun was shining or whether it was overcast and cloudy. But it was obviously soured 2 very good days by us.
This is how the injury occurred. Just smack on the index finger there.
I tried to wish it away kind of thing, but carrying on and making out as though it wasn't broke, but reality struck really when I hit the ball, first time I hit the ball after, and I realised then I wasn't going to be able to probably bowl during the game.
That's out. Caught at mid-off.
It's the end of England, and Alex Stewart there at the door, waiting to greet his batsman. Really to find out how his premier fast bowler is.
And the wait wouldn't have done Alex Stewart any good, because when Goff got inside, they had a good look at his finger and they knew instantly it was quite serious. He's 16 not out there on the card. They might be wasted runs if he can't bowl tomorrow, and I certainly didn't like the look of it at all.
Yeah, it was a huge blow, you know, losing Goffey. Goffey would have bowled well in those conditions. Hugely disappointed. Disappointed for the lad because he's waited so long to come back in. But, you know, typical Dominic Cork, he could have written it, you know, in a book really, the way he first game back, he goes and gets 5 wickets, and that was always going to happen.
How's that out? They're claiming it, and Liebenberg is on his way. So Dominic Cork has struck. That's the first wicket to fall. Jerry Liebenberg out with the score on 6. A nice simple catch to short leg.
Oh, what a beauty. What an absolute beauty. Just that little bit of extra pace and bounce from Dominic Cork.
Bowled brilliantly. Took the responsibility of Goffey not being around, and bowled really, really well.
He caught it. Beautiful catch, beautifully bowled. You felt it had to come, but they batted so beautifully. It's out. Pushing forward. The surprising bounce at that end. The substitute fielder for his Derbyshire captain. It's happened before. It happened to Liebenberg, and now it's happened to CORNHILL. Jonty Rhodes is the new batsman. Runs, and Croft has to do the running.
I haven't played much Test cricket the last sort of 16, 18 months, so for me I was a little bit nervous. You know, no matter how many tests you play, the adrenaline still goes when you get out. It doesn't get any easier. Those first couple of balls are still pretty tense, and you want to get off the mark and get down the other end. But it was a great way for me to start. I had a 3 and a 4 in the first 2 overs at our face, and from then it was just playing positive. Daryl Cullen was playing superbly. and all I wanted to do was basically try and rotate the strike, run as hard as I could, and give Darryl as much of the batting. And I just found that when you mess up the bowler's line and length by taking good ones and running the twos hard, they tend to bowl you more bad balls, which I seem to find the gap into the boundary.
Oh, that's a good shot. That's just easily timed away. Oh, great shot. A little bit on the up. Placed perfectly in the gap.
That's a beautiful shot. They use that very, very well. Great shot. So both these players now launching themselves into the pull shot and the drive.
That one kept slightly low. Length delivery from Angus Fraser. Daryl Cullinan a little bit on the back foot.
Great shot for 4. Bit of width and a bit too short. And Sean Pollock has dealt with it very well. There's a man down there. Took ages to come down, and Angus Fraser has got the breakthrough.
Gus Fraser, I think Gus has just Mr. Patience. He runs in and just bowls the ball in the right area. He's not phased if the ball goes past the bat. He's not phased. He just keeps. He knows that if he bowls enough balls in the right area, he's going to pick up wickets. Dominic Cork's obviously a more aggressive kind of guy, and he bowls you more balls that are straighter. I think you tend to find that he bowls a few more balls that you can play at because he maybe doesn't like to see the ball keep going past the bat, whereas Gus is very, very patient. I think he was definitely the pick of the England bowlers.
Loose, he's picked him up. That is well done. Beautifully bowled. Stewart diving away to his right, similar to the catch he took earlier in the innings when Jacques Cullis was dismissed. Now Mark Boucher has gone for a duck, and that opens the hutch a little. That's good stroke. Beautiful timing, which is always a feature of Klusener's batting.
I thought Jonty Rhodes looked in great nick. To come in on a wicket like that and just blast 90 odd the way he did, he looked in phenomenal nick. And I thought they batted well all the way down. Lance Klusener came in and played well at the end at number 9. To have someone come in and get 50 at number 9 playing like that was a great effort.
Beautiful. We know what a powerful player Klusener is.
This is actually very good to watch. Whatever the situation of the game, this is a classic innings.
A very good half-century, and is a useful cricketer, Lance Klusener. Underrated, but he's going to play a big part in South Africa now that he's got himself into the Test side as well as into the one-day side. Oh, they haven't picked that one up either out on the boundary. That's beautifully done. Beautifully done. Well, they deserved that, and Fraser deserved it as well.
Full praise for this man, Jonty Rhodes. He came in at a very, very difficult time yesterday.
Klusener has gone. So the wickets are falling now, and Elam deserves that. He's just a little bit the forgotten man of the attack.
Oh, well caught. Well, that's a brilliant instinctive reflex reaction catch from Dominic Cork. Gives him his 5th wicket of the innings. It's the end of Alan Donald. It's the end of the South African innings.
Donald out for 7, 343 for South Africa, and 2 delightful innings there. Jonty Rhodes 95 and Lance Klusener 57. That was an outstanding partnership just when needed by Hansie Cronje's team.
I mean, we set out really just to play for the first couple of hours, just so that see the new ball off and get them in a defensive frame of mind rather than sort of be 50 for 3 or something like that. They wanted to make sure that we were in a good position. We did that, and then we looked to go on from there. I think Alex Stewart started the positive play when he played a few big shots at Alan Donald or Sean Pollock, and from then on we were looking to be as positive as we could. I mean,
really, Alex was very positive in his captaincy. He went around telling everyone not to worry about own personal performances and personal statistics, and the needs of the team were greater than the needs of the individual, and we had 40 odd overs to go and get as many as we could. We knew the weather for the next day was going to be very doubtful. We'd had forecasts from everyone saying that it was going to rain, so we just you can't always go by forecasts, but we were just going to be really positive and trying to get to as close as 300 ahead that night to try and get him in the next day. And
well, they suddenly realised that they had to actually make a run for it in order to make a game of it, and we were quite surprised. I mean, we were quite happy to chase. We thought the wicket was probably playing at its best on day 4, because it had been so wet for the first 2 days, and then it held together quite well. I think Edgbaston these past two or three seasons has been notoriously bad or uneven on the last 2 days. So even though 1 or 2 balls were bouncing, there was never really those low shooters which are going to get you out. I mean, the bouncing ball, you can't do much about it. Generally goes past the bat or hits the glove, or just hits you somewhere in the body, but shouldn't really get you out. The ones that keep low are the problem. So we were quite happy to chase 300 because we thought the wicket was probably playing its best. The final day would have been a really good day's cricket.
And we declared, or certainly I'd made the declaration known to our players. I hadn't let South Africa know at that stage, but we were looking to bowl them out in the 90 overs available to us on the last day. People said it was a positive move, an attacking move. We just felt we played well enough in that game to try and force a victory, and at the same time we felt South Africa wouldn't get the runs required on that last day.